You do everything right. You play by the rules, you bring a kid into the world, and immediately you start having minor panic attacks about the year 2040 because you've seen the charts. You know that college tuition is inflating faster than healthcare, faster than housing, faster than basically anything else on earth. So you start saving. You open the 529 college savings account, and you funnel your hard-earned cash into it every month. $500 here, $1,000 there. You sacrifice your own vacations so your kid won't graduate with a mountain of debt that crushes their soul before they even get their first real paycheck. But then, life happens. Maybe your kid is a genius and gets a full-ride scholarship. Maybe they decide they want to be an electrician, skip the 4-year degree, and start making 6 figures by age 22 without stepping foot on a university campus. Or maybe, college just becomes completely obsolete in 10 years. And suddenly, you are sitting on thousands of dollars trapped in a 529 plan. Under the old rules, this was a nightmare. You were punished for being responsible. If you tried to pull that money out for anything other than qualified education expenses, the IRS would just absolutely wreck you. They'd hit you with ordinary income taxes on the earnings, plus a 10% penalty just for the privilege of accessing your own money. It felt like a trap. Most people think putting too much money into a 529 plan is a financial hazard, a black hole where your wealth gets held hostage by the government. But the math proves it is actually the exact opposite. It is one of the greatest backdoor wealth-building loopholes ever accidentally written into the tax code. I mean, I'm Heisenbank, and I spend an unnatural amount of time staring at IRS documents and running compounding models so you don't have to. And when I saw what changed recently, I knew we needed to talk, because we are not just talking about saving for tuition anymore. We are talking about taking $35,000 of unused college savings and mutating it into a multi-million-dollar entirely tax-free retirement fund for your child. This changes everything. It changes how you save. It changes how you invest. And most importantly, it eliminates the single biggest psychological barrier that keeps middle-class parents from building generational wealth. Let's break down exactly how this works, the exact math of what it turns into, and the hidden IRS tripwires you have to step over to pull it off. Before we get to the massive money, we have to talk about human behavior. Why do so many smart, capable people leave their money sitting in terrible, low-yield savings accounts? Fear. Loss aversion. It is a known psychological bias where the pain of losing something feels twice as intense as the pleasure of gaining something. For decades, financial advisors told parents to underfund their 529 plans. They would say, hey, don't put too much in. You don't want to get hit with that 10% penalty if little Jimmy doesn't go to Harvard. So parents held back. They kept their money in taxable brokerage accounts where it got hit with capital gains taxes year after year, or worse, they just left it in cash, letting inflation slowly eat it alive. The penalty fear was a disease. It paralyzed people. But then the Secure 2.0 Act passed, and buried inside that massive piece of legislation was a provision that completely destroyed the penalty fear forever. Starting in 2024, you can roll unused 529 funds directly into a Roth IRA for the beneficiary. Tax-free, penalty-free. You don't lose the money, you just change its job. Let's look at the brutal math, because feelings lie, but numbers do not. The government put a lifetime cap on this rollover trick. You can move up to $35,000 from a 529 plan into a Roth IRA. Now, at first glance, $35,000 is like a nice safety net. Maybe a down payment on a small rental property. But we aren't talking about a 50-year-old. We are talking about a 22-year-old who just finished trade school or got a scholarship and suddenly has a fully funded Roth IRA handed to them. Let's say you execute this rollover. Your kid is 22. They now have $35,000 sitting in a Roth IRA, invested in an S&P 500 index fund. And let's assume they literally never contribute another single dime to this account for the rest of their lives. They just let it sit there. Historically, the stock market returns an average of about 10% per year. But let's be conservative. Let's adjust for inflation. Let's say it grows at an inflation-adjusted 7% per year. At age 32, that $35,000 is $68,000. At age 42, it is $135,000. At age 52, it is $266,000. Watch what happens at the end of the curve. This is where compounding interest gets violently aggressive. At age 62, that original $35,000 has grown to over $524,000. And if they wait until the traditional retirement age of 67, that $35,000, money that you originally set aside for dorm room meals and overpriced textbooks, has mutated into $735,000, nearly $750,000 of pure purchasing power. And here is the absolute best part. Because it is in a Roth IRA, every single penny of that growth is completely 100% tax-free. When they pull it out, the IRS cannot touch it. If we use a slightly more aggressive 9% return, which is historically accurate before inflation, that exact same $35,000 turns into $1.6 million by the time they are 67. $1.6 million from money that you were previously terrified of putting into the account because of a stupid 10% penalty. It's insane. It is literally a legal money glitch. Look, if this is the kind of ruthless, numbers-driven reality check that actually helps you sleep at night, this is the kind of ruthless, numbers-driven reality check that actually helps you sleep at night. And if you want to keep legally outsmarting the system, hit subscribe. It costs you nothing, and it tells the algorithm that we prefer math over financial fairy tales. Let's get back to the rules. Okay, so the government isn't completely stupid. They didn't just open the door and let everyone walk through without checking IDs. There are rules, and if you mess up these rules, the IRS will happily step in and take their cut. Rule number 1, the 15-year clock. The 529 account must have been open for at least 15 years before you can do this rollover. Think about what this means behaviorally. It means you cannot just open an account when your kid is a senior in high school, dump a bunch of money in, realize they aren't going to college, and immediately funnel it into a Roth IRA to dodge taxes. The IRS wants to see long-term intent. So, what is the actionable step here? You open the account early, like immediately. Even if you only put in $50 a month, start the clock. You need that 15-year timer ticking in the background. And here is a weird, highly technical quirk that most people miss. If you change the beneficiary of the 529 plan, say from your older daughter to your younger son, it might reset the 15-year clock. The IRS hasn't issued crystal clear final guidance on every single edge case of this yet, so you have to tread carefully. Do not just blindly swap names around if you are planning to use this Roth loophole. Keep the original beneficiary intact if possible. Rule number 2, you cannot move the $35,000 all at once. I know, it's annoying. The rollover is subject to the annual IRA contribution limits. For 2024, that limit is $7,000 a year. So if you have $35,000 sitting there, you can't just hit a button and dump it into the Roth tomorrow. You have to drip feed it. You roll over $7,000 this year, another $7,000 next year. It will take you exactly 5 years to move the full $35,000 over. But remember, the money is still growing tax-free while it sits in the 529 waiting its turn. And here is a vital piece of the puzzle. The beneficiary, your kid, must have earned income in the year you do the rollover. They cannot just be sitting on the couch playing video games doing absolutely nothing. If you want to roll over $7,000 into their Roth IRA this year, they need to have made at least $7,000 from a job, a side hustle, or some form of legitimate, taxable earned income. This forces financial literacy. It forces them to enter the workforce, and it allows you to reward that effort by shielding their college savings from taxes. Let's take this one step deeper, because we aren't just talking about parents here. We are talking about the transfer of wealth across generations. Grandparents love funding 529 plans. It is one of the easiest ways for wealthy or upper middle class grandparents to pull money out of their taxable estate and pass it down. In the past, grandparents would hesitate. What if my grandson doesn't go to college? I don't want to leave him a tax burden. Now, the floodgates are open. A grandparent can open the 529, they can fund it, and if the grandchild decides to take an alternative path or gets a massive scholarship because they are a track star, the grandparent just funded the foundation of their grandchild's retirement. It changes the entire psychology of giving. It moves the conversation from "I am paying for school" to "I am buying your future freedom." We need to address the elephant in the room. People hate locking their money up. When you put money into a 401k, an IRA, or a 529, there's this underlying anxiety. It's the fear of illiquidity. What if I need that money? What if there's an emergency? This is why people keep $100,000 in a checking account making 0.01% interest. They are paying a massive, invisible tax to inflation simply to buy the feeling of safety. But true wealth building requires structure. It requires putting your money in places where it is legally protected from taxes and psychologically protected from yourself. The 529 to Roth IRA rollover is the ultimate safety valve. It gives you permission to be aggressive. It gives you permission to save for your child's education without second-guessing yourself. You are no longer making a binary bet on whether or not the higher education system will still be relevant in 20 years. You are making a guaranteed bet on tax-free compound growth. If they need it for school, it's there. If they don't, it buys them decades of their life back in retirement. You win either way. The house loses, and that is exactly how you want to play the game. We have to stop looking at personal finance as a series of defensive maneuvers. Most people manage their money like they are just trying not to drown. They are in survival mode. They pay their bills, they throw a little into a savings account, they complain about taxes, and they hope it all works out. But the tax code isn't just a list of things you owe, it is a rule book. And if you actually read the rules, you realize it is full of massive, glaring opportunities designed to reward people who plan ahead. The wealthy do not complain about taxes, they structure their lives to avoid them legally. They use trusts, they use real estate depreciation, and they absolutely use vehicles like the 529 plan and the Roth IRA to shield their capital from the government. You now have the exact same tool at your disposal. $35,000, 15 years, a lifetime of tax-free growth. It is time to stop being afraid of the penalties and start engineering your family's financial reality, because nobody else is going to do it for you. As the old saying goes, a standard education will get you a standard life, but a financial education will get you freedom. I am Heisenbank. See you on the next one.